안녕하세요. 안녕하세요. 반갑습니다. Hello, hi, everybody. Well, I've been here for just 20 minutes earlier, so some of them had a chance to talk. I see. Maybe we have a moderator. So, okay, maybe you start.
დღეს ისმის ხა კორეის ფონდის ფინანსური მხარდაჭერითა და თავისუფალი უნივერსიტეტის საერთაშორისო სკოლის კორეული მიმართულების ორგანიზებით პროფესორი ჯონგ ჩაგვიტარებს ლექციას ზოგადად კორეის კულტურის შესახებ. ანუ კორეის ტალღის შესახებ, რაც მოიცავს ზოგადად მთლიანად კორეის კულტურას.
Okay, good evening. First of all, on behalf of the Free University, I would like to welcome you at this very interesting lecture. This lecture is being prepared by the International Relations School of the Free University with grateful financial support from the Korea Foundation. We are very grateful for this support and we hope that cooperation between the university and the Korea Foundation will continue in the future as well. Today we will hear a very interesting lecture about Korean culture and especially the role of Hallyn Korean wave. Professor Jung will be preparing this presentation. I will be trying to make this presentation as less official as possible, so we will have a very small Q&A session after the presentation, so we will be grateful for any questions you have. You can ask them both in Georgian or English or in Korean, if there is anyone. So now I would like to give the floor to Professor.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much for to interesting me in such a wonderful way. Yeah, as you heard that after this lecture followed by some of the Q&A questions, I never prepared. So anyway, that will be maybe a little bit easier for you kind of more pay attention to my lecture. Briefly, I want to just to introduce, as you know, that my name is Jung. Actually, I was very surprised that George pronouncing my name is very correctly. So my name is Jung. Actually, Yu Jong-soo. Maybe some of them they know about how we just to say the Korean name in order. I'm have been working and teaching at the Erciyes University and Department of Korean Language and Literature in Turkey since 2013. So, which means I've been there for 6 years. It's been a while. And as a Korea Foundation visiting professor there. And then I'm very happy to be here today, as well as kind of very honored to be here. And then it was my first time to come to the Tbilisi, Georgia. So since yesterday was kind of amazing, I feel very good to be here. Before I start my lecture or kind of presentation, I want to thank mostly to organizing this wonderful event by Korea Foundation and then Free University in Tbilisi, and then especially to Director Moon Sung-gi. As far as I know correctly, he's a director of the Moscow Korea Foundation office, and then John Byung-taek. Before I come here, we just had a lot of email, and he was very attentive to help me out to come out here. And then also from Free University, Nana, Miss Nana, where is? Oh, yeah. Thank you so much to having me here. That's very nice. And then since yesterday, it's Nino. She was very lovely. Yeah, I met her just yesterday in airport. Even today was very helpful. And then also Tamo, thank you so much. Where is she? Okay, thank you. There's something wrong because I have a lot of video in my presentation, so I'm very bad about using a technology, so maybe she might help me to pop out. Thank you. So I want to just talking about today's, getting to the topic of today's lectures. Actually, I heard that today's for special lecture, most of the audience is university students, so I tried to pick up something not serious. Actually, my major is literature, particularly novels. So mostly my personal experience in Turkey, when I'm teaching some kind of novel and poetry, most of my students they find very boring. So I thought maybe today I might just, because of the audience is early others, so I can pick the Korean wave, like pop culture, as you're more familiar with the K-pop, something like this. And then also I want to just talking briefly about the foreigners' perceptions and images of Korea. Because when you think about what is the Korea or what's mean to Korea to the foreigner, the first step is that maybe we can ask you, what do you think about Korea like this? So I want to start with this way. Okay. Oh, actually, this room is very big. Actually, I thought something very close, but I don't know how I just started. Look at this one, or look at this one, maybe. Anyway, hopefully it works. And in the beginning, in the introduction, I want to say about, as I said earlier, I want to know, like when you think about what is the Korea or Korean culture to the foreigners, and then first step is that we can ask foreigners, what do you know about Korea, or what image you see when you think about, when you hear Korea? And then which means like we can try to how the foreigners view the Korea. As you know, importance this question, as you know, it's very basic. It's nothing special about the, understanding foreigners' perception or images, attitude about Korea or Korean culture is very important or necessary, particularly for a Korean teacher. I'm a teacher. Because we can think about how you accurately or effectively introduce Korean culture to people from all around the people. And then today we're living in the globalization, right? There's no frontier, there's no border. So in this sense, our question is what Korea is, or we can begins with how foreigners view and think of Korea. This approach helps us understand the contemporary global relevance of Korea and Korean culture. And then this is also actual process. When you're meeting the people for the first time, we are interacting, and then to try to gain mutual understanding. So this is in that way increase the cultural exchange between Korea and other country. And then the last one is same thing. So all the way it comes to promote understanding to each other. So I can ask before I just prepare some of the survey, but I want to ask you. It's not a question. Be relaxed. It's not a question. Okay. So I think you're very good. So what do you know about Korea? I'm sorry, this is so easy, right? But I can ask you. Tamara, Miss Tamara. Yeah, you're very nice today. So I think she knows a lot about the Korea, right? Can you say one thing? Oh, very good. Cuisine, kimchi, evet, bibimbap, yes. Oh, that's true. It's very nice of you to say that way. I'm from such a beautiful country. That's good, very nice, very good, very knowledgeable. So is anyone say something or put input more kind of, knowledge of Korea? Okay.
Also,
Samsung.
Yeah. When I think of Korea, the first thing that comes into my mind is, first of all, cuisine, and Samsung and Hyundai, because it's one of the biggest brands in the whole world, and I believe it's one of the biggest source in economy in Korea.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, this is maybe. Oh, okay. BTS. Yeah, BTS. Yeah. Army. Internet. Good answers. Very nice responses. Evet, okay?
이순신?
Oh, 이순신.
Okay, my favorite admiral.
Wow.
Yes.
That's very impressive.
Sure.
Wow, 이순신. Oh, King Sejong, who invented Korean alphabet. Wow, that's very nice. Okay. I think your knowledge is above the average. I'm sorry, maybe I better to stop lecturing today. No need, I think, right? What I prefer is so basic. I'm sorry. Because Nana Hoja didn't inform any kind of this file, like the audience is super good, like this. Okay, let's move on. I just want to know what's it like, I just said, the general perception and image of Korea to foreigners. And then there's a good kind of reference I came across, because last August I had a chance to writing one of the analysis, a Korean wave in Turkey. So I looked into this, came across this kind of a survey. And then maybe what you answered to earlier, maybe somehow came across like overlapping their answers too. So the 2018 Korea Foundation for International Cultural Exchange they conducted an online survey about the global Hallyu trends and then actual state of the overseas Hallyu. For this survey, online surveys, 16 countries participating, and then 7,800 people, they just attended this survey. So we can look into what the result. So foreigners' general perception of Korea. The first one, let's look at the below one. The survey result, first one, as you said that, I forgot her name, but they think about Korea as an economically developed country. As the answer is 66.3, which is some of the countries like Indonesia or Malaysia or Thailand, even 77%. So first one, they think about Korea, it's not BTS, I'm sorry. Because this survey, for this survey, some of the older people attended, not only the young folks. I'm sorry about this. The first one is the economic development. They were saying about, sometimes in Turkey, many people, common people, they come to me, Hoja means teacher. Hoja, Korea is so rich. Korea is so economically so developed. Okay, but most of the people, they're saying about that too, so I feel that way too. Every day they're saying that. And second one, I'm fond of the country, which means I like Korea for some reason. They have a very good feeling toward Korea, which is a percent, turns out, the 64.8. Some of the countries like Indonesia, India, Turkey, 77. I think this is also related to the first answer, because they have some idea about the economically developed country, so that they give good feedback about this too. And third one, Korea is very friendly to us. Something like this, 57 point like this. But for this survey result, one of the you really pay attention thing is that among other category or question, there's a lowest answer is that Korea is a cultural powerhouse. There's a result is 40, even 50, below the 50. I think this is related. Anyone maybe have some idea why is this culture house is result is a little bit lower? Because I think maybe this is something related about the trend of the negative sentiment or resistance toward the Korean popular culture, which is called the Korean wave, in China and Taiwan and Japan. I have ever heard about this anti-Hallyu? Oh, there is no existing anti-Hallyu here, right? Okay, good, very good. But as you know, in terms of some Korean wave, there is a certain time, 2005 and 6, there is an anti-movement, anti-phenomenon, something resistance of the expansion of the Korean pop culture, particularly start in China, 2005, and 2006, even Japan. They have some magazine title, Anti-Hallyu, We Hate Korea, something like this. So maybe this is somewhat related to this phenomenon that occurs happened to the 2006 in China, so that's why the answer among the one, this Korea is a cultural powerhouse, is very lower among other positive acknowledgements. Second one is, what do you think about Korea when you hear Korea? We can move quickly. Survey results saying about Korea, first one is the image is associated mostly with the K-pop, 16.6. Wow, like this, K-pop. And then second is the North Korea. Something about threat of a nuclear missile, like a war, something like this. So that was the second is the point is 8.5%, which is still relatively very high. Because as you know, last 2016 and 17, there's a lot of computation between the Korea and North Korea, as you know, right? Because some of them, they are majors international something, so they might know about something. And third one, developed IT industry, which is fast internet everywhere. That was the third one. The fourth, drama, 7.6, and then followed by the last one, Korean food, which is Tarama teacher saying Korean food, that was 5. So I was very surprised that, oh my God, Korea, the first associated image is number one is K-pop. Even the result is 16.6, which is relatively very high, which means now is the K-pop, not only to rank some of the Asian countries like China, Japan, or not like this, all around the part of the world, like Indonesia and Australia, Brazil, France, England, US, and all Middle East countries also, including Turkey also. So now this K-pop is not only to music, music. Now it become a marketing purchasing value. which the impact is very huge. The third one, I saying about the result of associated image in Korea differentiate according to the region of the country, like this. I don't know. But I look into, before prepare this kind of presentation, unfortunately, for this survey, Armenia or Azerbaijan or other countries, they're not included, but only Russia also included. But this is a kind of map out some of the corresponding to images, how they're overlapping. And then I would like to point out is that Turkey was very different position here. Because Turkey is unrelated, because their first image, top 5 image, first one, something different from K-pop. So according to this survey result, foreigners' positive perception, images, and attitude about Korea were increased mostly thanks to influence of Korean wave, which is called Hallyu, and expansion in the world. Majority of participants answer that they got to view Korea very positively after they're exposed to Korean popular culture and then consumption of Korean products. I think this is very kind of normal, commonplace when you think about that too. So, but as you know, on the other hand, also we see that some of the a negative trend of the Korean pop culture in certain region of the country, like Japan and China and Thailand. So generally, foreigners' perception image about Korea is very positive, very good, flavorful. I think this is also can be applied, this kind of factor to maybe today's our audience too, right? Because of the K-pop or maybe Korean wave drama, whatever, like LG or K-pop. So nowadays their image is kind of very important to, produced mainly for movie and soap opera or music and some of the movie stars too as well. Second chapter is I'm talking about a case study of the Turkey because I live there. So I more pay attention about what the result of this kind of survey, and then I found very interesting kind of facts. So I want to talking about some of the things, maybe somewhat, maybe hopefully relate to your cases, but I don't know, maybe we can find out later. And then image of the perception of Korea in Turkey. Remember, what is the top first image of Korea? Remember? What is that one? K-pop. Yeah, top 5 images. The first one is K-pop. K-pop, like this. Oh, you're very good. Because you prepared the question, right? QA thing. Good. But Turkey, as you know, it was very different. The result is kind of a little bit opposite. The Turkish people's perception and image of Korea, for the most part, something about Korean War. It turned out that even the 17.5%, even higher than the K-pop, right? 17.5. And the second one is the Korean drama, another Hallyu kind of forms. This is related because there are historical relation between two countries. Is there anyone know about something about why just the Turkish people, they associate Korea with the Korean War, like a 70.5%? Do you know, anyone know about this? Because they helped. Yeah, they helped. How they helped? They sent the soldier, 15,000 soldiers to Korean War. Most of them, they cannot. Yes, yeah. So, yeah. Because of that, that's true. And then I want to briefly later show there's a movie based on this Korean War. And then also next one is K-pop. Here in Turkey, case of the Turkey, K-pop is a kind of 50th rank. It's kind of different from others, like a survey result. And then in the same way, I found that there's an article about the Korean image in Turkey, which conducted written in the Jung and one of the Turkish teacher 2015. There are 10 subjects of the knowledge about the Korea. They ask the Turkish people, how do you know about the Korea? What do you know about the Korea? And then, as you guess, number 1 is the Korean War. Like the knowledge on Korean War received the highest rating, and then 85% participant answer they knew the Korean War very well. Their knowledge is actually very accurate because they learn a lot of stuff from their textbook, history textbook about the Korean War. But I found another thing, like there's a very starting generation gap in the perception image of Korea held by Turkish people. You can see that, I'm sorry about that, some of the letters very small, but I can explain something. Like age, there's two groups, age 40, 50, 60. Their perception, something pretty much related to Korean War, but their age, like teenager, early adults, like 25 or something, their awareness of the Korea, something related to Korean pop culture, which is the Korean wave. So there's a very starting get generation between two groups. So until 2002 World Cup in South Korea and Japan, the image of perception Korean people, Korea in Turkey, pretty much restrict to the Korean War. And they're saying this way, Turkish people remember how their grandfathers and fathers fought to repelling communist aggregation in faraway country in the name of democracy. So in this kind of perception, it's not only finished only just perception. This is also related to their emotion, their affection toward Korea too, which is a very much big part of their understanding of Korea. So Turkish people, they have a strong affection for and perception of Korea, Korean people, explain the name of the Khan Kardeshi, which means they believe that Korea is our brother country, which means Koreans our blood shared to us. From my personal experience, the Turkish people tend to have emotional closeness or sympathy toward the Korean people. It seems like they still believe the idea they originate from Asia or have a strong Asian heritage. So this is one of the also very much big factor behind their concept or image of Korea. So what I'm saying about all this kind of Turkish people or foreigners' perception or image of Korea, could be a very good starting point when you think about how you teach, how you inform the Korea, what's meaning to them. Not only from something we can just just getting from Korea, something we can just importing or exporting, not like that. We have to think about what's their idea first, and then we can build up some idea, good idea about what you're teaching. This is a kind of a trailer preview of the movie, which was the Turkish film Ayla. The name is Daughter of the War. Actually, the literally means Ayla means like moonlight. Means actually, but English title is the Daughter of the War. I watched this movie with 258 students in my department in the cinema, multiplex cinema, 2017 at Kim, first day, October. And then we all watched together this movie, and then so many students, they're very, very, very were touched, and they really like it. So we can. This is a story about the Korean War. It's one of the soldiers, Suleiman, and then heartbreaking story of the Korean 5-year-old orphan girl and the Turkish soldier during the Korean War. Let's watch it. Okay. Not it. Yeah, maybe I can close this to a power play distillation, and then we can open the video. Okay. This one, I think maybe this one.
Güney Kore'ye asker gönderiyoruz, duymuşsunuz.
Duydum binbaşım.
Kore halkının bize ihtiyacı var. Dün bizeydi, bugün onlara. Ne dersin?
Şeref duyarım.
50 yıl geçmiş.
Lights off. Olmaz mı? Lights off.
Ayda?
Baba.
İzin versinler onu da götüreyim. O zaman dön.
Yeter! Ayla buranın vatandaşı ve burada kalacak.
Geri geleceğim ben, tamam mı? Geri geleceğim. Ve bu sefer hiç ayrılmayacağız.
전쟁터에서 버려진 저를 끝까지 친딸처럼 보듬어 주시고 키워 주셔서 감사합니다. 아버지 사랑합니다. 당신의 딸 아일라가.
As I said earlier, 2017 October, the movie released the first time, and all our department students, which is all the Turkish students and me and all the Turkish teacher, we went to the movie theater together, watch this movie, and then this is one of the kind of, how I said it, to arouse their kind of feeling or their kind of mind about the Korea too. So which I really not fully understood very much, but I tried to understand that one. But after that, so many Turkish people and my students or even teacher, they asked me, teacher, this movie in Turkey was so popular, everybody watch it. Literally, everybody watch it, but what about in Korea? Is anyone to watch it? How their response, reception, what is that? So I was asked this question maybe more than maybe 1,000 or something. Whenever I meet some people on the street, they ask me, because they even holding my hands like, Hosam, the movie's so great. I really love it, Korean people. We are good. We are family, blah, blah. And then they asked me, this movie screened in Korea, any theater. But as far as I understand, I asked some of the friends in Korea, but actually, I'm sorry, there's not really screened this movie in one of the multiplex theater. But I heard that some of the like a small local movie festival, they just showed this movie too. So I think it's not because I'm saying this, not because I'm living or working in the Turkey something, but if you teach in Korea or Korean culture to the foreigner or your students, you have to think about how their perception, how they think about that first thing, rather than you just kind of, bring all your idea about what is Korea, so we can input their mind. So I was very sorry. So somehow, culture should be mutual direction, something, have to. So in that sense, maybe in Korea or Korean people have to more pay attention about what's the meaning about the Korea to the other peoples too. Okay, so this movie, biggest success in 2017, even 2018. It's like this movie showed almost 2 years in Turkey, everywhere. Even, I don't know is how that happened, but it's like ongoing, played. So now it's the stop. But most of people, they watch this movie and they remind of Korea in that sense of the Korean War, which is still very strong. So I can say that this huge success or this film kind of, aroused the affection, emotion, and the warm sentiment, which I called that before kan kardeşi, the blood shared, something like this. This affection, again, in heart of Turkish people, the Korean War and affection, so-called the love of kan kardeşi, have remained even embedded deeply in the hearts and minds of Turkish people, like this. So maybe in that sense, I think maybe in Turkey, this is one of the very close connection between two countries. And then what about your country? What about your case? Maybe you have a different kind of story also. Maybe I want to listen to what your kind of, story between their country. And third one, I want to just go into as I said earlier, today is my lecture. In the first one, I'm talking about the foreigners' perception, image of Korea. And second part about the Korean wave, like Hallyu, especially about the Korean drama in Turkey. So I hope maybe there are some of the points that I mentioned about here, maybe you found some similarity in your own country, hopefully. Okay. In any other country, actually, as you might know, the Korean wave, or kind of known as the Hallyu, begin with the Korean drama in 1997 in China. And then after that, it's expanded to another country like Japan and Taiwan, and now this all about the world, right? It started with the Korean drama. Korean drama penetrated their television production, and then after that, people to start to interesting about the Korean culture or Korean other thing, anything. In Turkey, it was the same way. The Korean drama played a key role in the promotion or emerging Korean wave in Turkey. Particularly the example, the TRT channel, Turkish National TV channel, 2005. There's a lot of the Korean drama have been aired in Turkey. Even I cannot name it whole thing. There's a lot. So far, maybe I can say up to date, maybe I can say probably 50 or 60 or something like this Korean drama have been aired in Turkish television, either both in the national and then cable channels too. So I can say about some of the, I can just name it in Korean and an English title and then Korean title. Some of them maybe you might be familiar with the titles. What about your country? Maybe you also, your Korean drama way before, like earlier 2000, they broadcasted?
In here we actually have Aida TV,
Mm-hmm.
which actually shows K-pop and all the dramas and the ones that are actually translated into
Oh.
subtitles and then tutorials sometimes.
Oh, I see. Is it maybe some of the students, they when they are a kid, maybe they watch some Korean drama too?
Kind of can't actually say the correct answer about that, but as far as I know, only three.
Only three.
Empress, Jung, and
Actually, Empress Key is kind of pretty new one, right? Relatively new one.
it was aired probably in 2016.
2016. So,
Jung was aired on national channel.
Jumo. Oh, I see. Wow. So sounds like a little bit later in, Georgia.
For me, I watch it online, and I'm pretty kind of a fan of Minho.
Yes.
I never knew what to say.
Mm.
Some broadcasting of Korean drama.
Yeah, if you maybe kind of look into this subject matter, you might find something more than that. Yeah, okay, interesting, yeah. So I was also, personally, I was very I was very shocked, like, oh my God, so many TV drama have been aired, like in Turkish television channels, even some of them I haven't even watched myself, unfortunately. So if you say the Empress Key is a key one who is in Turkey, 2018, they broadcast this drama. And then one of the big hits is like Boys Over Flowers, which is Korean title is the 꽃보다 남자. Everybody's saying about Lee Min-ho when they meet me. Oh my goodness, I don't know what to say. So they're so big fan of the Lee Min-ho because of this drama, big success. In Turkey, it's kind of interesting. It's that some of the drama, like Emperor the Sea, which is Hallyn, and then 대장금, Jewel in the Palace, and then Queen Sangdeok, and Dream High and Boys of Flowers gain the highest viewers rating, and then broadcasting this kind of drama, they not only one time, they repeatedly, on and on. That's very,
I thought that it was quite popular.
yeah, that's quite popular too, yes. And then this kind of, one of the major factor behind the Korean movie, Korean wave is started in Turkey too, 2018. So nowadays, not only the TRT channel, now it's Meltem and Message or Yumurjak or Canal 7 channel. They're completely to start to airing Korean drama because there is a lot of viewership there. So, and then so I also found this one broadcasting Korean drama in the beginning of time, how this is possible continuously ongoing like this because of the Turkish people, they have a sort of they're doing some kind of petition. They just signature collecting campaign they did. Oh, please, Korean drama more and more. We watch the one or something like this. So TRT, they decide to, they're broadcasting more Korean drama because of the Turkish viewers. They really like it. So there's not only the television, one of the factors how come this Korean wave is so expanded or so popular in Turkey, not only the television, as you're saying about, SNS, online website, there's many things like younger generation, they're more familiar with the kind of using like Twitter and YouTube, other kind of SNS, social media. So in Turkey also, there's many kind of social media they can watch freely to Korean drama on time. I can say about this is one of the biggest Korean wave fan club in Turkey, which is called Korea Fans. Life is better with Korean fans. Hopefully, yeah, they believe that this is one of the slogan like this. If you go into this website, you can literally find all the kind of information about Korea, everything as you think about this. I was also very surprised at too. So this is established in 2007. As I said earlier, Korean drama aired in 2005, one of the national channel, and then right after they start to organize or establish this kind of a Korea fans, and then known as the biggest Korean wave fan club in Turkey. Their membership now exceed over 72,000 people. Not only Turkish, also English too, because they have more access people to coming to this website, so watch Korean drama, or so they commenting, they're all kind of different kind of stuff they're doing here. Even they published magazine, newspapers. Wow, voluntarily. Was very nice. But they started in 2011, but now they stopped doing it, publishing this kind of two different kind of magazine and newspaper. But this one is a title is 동류, Passion for Asia. Another one is the Hallyu Shinmun, covered news and information on Korea and Korean culture. I think this is why so significant this kind of Korea fans, their activity or existence, establishment, because this is they're very volunteer. Nobody to push you, okay, please open up some website to introduce Korean culture to your local people. No, they're voluntarily they doing it. They just organizing different kind of online, offline events or festival, all different kind of thing. They're very actively involved this kind of an event. So I can say that systemic activities and steady working in order to introduce, spread information about Korea, Korean pop culture in Turkey. This is also magazine, launched the monthly magazine featuring K-pop, K-drama in March 2018. This is I also bought, this is the first issue, which is extremely expensive, very expensive, but I bought it because I want to know why my students are so crazy about the Korean pop culture. And then I saw it, there's all the pictures. Almost like 2/3 is filled with the pictures, BTS. Their birthday, their name, what they do, their free time, what is favorite color, when they're born. Oh my goodness, I don't know. It's just so detailed information about each of the members like this. But anyway, this is also very popular in Turkey. And then the reason I'm saying about this magazine is very important. Why? Because this is published monthly by Turkish well-known and major media company, Doğan. It's very famous publisher. So this, which means its impact is kind of huge. To date, published 60 issue, and then now they have a special edition issue too, like a Valentine's Day issue like this. So because they want to have a more girl students, they buy this kind of a magazine. And the third one, can move on. The third one is I'm saying about before I saying about in Turkey, there's so many Korean drama have been aired in both the cable and the national channels. But this is not only to that way. In Turkey, that's very interesting one is this popularity Korean drama in Turkey makes the Turkish producer, they made Korean drama, the Turkish version. They made it. So this is another very interesting kind of points. I found it. So I show it here, some of the major ones. So far, I found 85 Turkish version of Korean drama remade it in Turkey. But now I just put some of the posters, very representative of some of the drama. Some of the drama maybe you might recognize, like a Full House, 가족끼리 왜 이래, 넝쿨쩍 굴러온 당신, and 신사의 품격. Something like this. They remade it. They just make it their into invention, their own version. And then I listed here, like this is the native title here on the left side, and the English title, and the title of a Turkish remake one. And then the year is that they aired in Turkey, and the episode, and you see that the original episode actually 21:16. As you know, Korean cities usually 16 or 18 or 20 is not really too long, as you know that. But in Turkey, when they make it was so long. Some of the drama is even 7 years. Like this episode, 1477, and some of the double. So because in Turkey, when your drama is so popular, they're ongoing. Making story again like this. This is one of the big differences. Okay, this is one of the you can see about the writer Kang Eun-kyung, 가족끼리 왜 이래? What happened to my family? The English title, and then they just kind of adaptation some of the storyline into their kind of Turkish kind of tradition too. Evet. anyone too familiar? Have you watched to the like Voice of Flowers? Okay, can you raise your hands? Okay, don't be shy. It's okay. It's dark. Nobody's to see you. All teacher is here. Ah, okay. Many of them they're familiar with the story. This is like a kind of trailer of the Turkish version of the 꽃보다 남자, Voice of Flowers. So we can watch it. Some thing. Okay. 토마. Second one. Yes. No, not this one. I'm sorry. This is one. I think this one. Third one.
Ne oluyor burada ya?
Sen kimsin ya?
Zeynep yeni öğrencimiz. Bundan sonra bizimle olacak.
Sen bu okuldaki insanlardan bayağı farklısın ya.
Öyle mi?
Oğlum sen psikopat mısın ya? Öldüreceksin çocuğu. Ne yapıyorsunuz?
Nasılsın?
İyiyim.
Ya yapmasana!
Burası Kerem'in çöpü. Özür dile. Ona kimse karşı çıkamaz bu okulda. Özür dile ve kurtul.
그래서 이민호.
Asla.
Anlamıyorum o kızın Kerem'in yanında
I'm
ne işi
sorry.
var
They
ya?
couldn't find Imino. Oh my God. In
Zeynep
Turkey, there's
efendimden
no cute guy.
bahsediyorsun. Babam?
Çok eskiden bir deniz
This is
kazasında
금잔디,
kaybolmuş.
as you know. It's not very
Evet.
cute, right?
Sen kimsin ya? Ha? Sen kendini ne sanıyorsun?
Bir şey söylemeyecek misin? Bir insana acı çektirmenin en iyi yolu nedir biliyor musun?
Yalan de. Böyle bir şey olmadı de.
Sus, defol git tamam mı? Hayalleriyle oyna.
Ne yapıyorsun lan sen? Neden sürekli Zeynep'in peşine bitiyorsun?
Biz ayrılmasaydık nasıl olurdu düşündün mü hiç?
Koskoca Kerem Seher bu hallere düşecek adam mıydı yani?
Değildi ama düştü.
Kalsaydın o aptal kasabanda. Dönmeseydin, ölseydin orada, geberseydin. Senin derdin ne?
Sensin derdin.
Anne aşk insanın hep karşısına beklemediği zamanda mı çıkar peki?
O mektup elime geçseydi seni bırakıp gitmezdim biliyorsun değil mi?
Biliyorum. Ne yapacağım ben anne?
Senin benim ne yaşadığımdan, ne hissettiğimden haberim bile yokken. Sen benim kardeşimdin. Beni neden yalnız bıraktın Kenan? Ay Zeynep, bak. Seni çok seviyorum. Hiç unutma. Ne olursa olsun ben seni hep çok seveceğim.
Did you follow the main storyline of this kind of very trailer? Yeah, who's the 금잔디 and Imino like this? Yeah. So I watched myself, and then like some of the like storyline they remain it like bad man, like arrogant boy, and then kind of the 금잔디. Her character is, as you know, like has filled with the sense of the justice and full of the vitality, and then she's very changed this guy, and then eventually they ended up to the love. So in Turkish version of this Korean drama, they more focus on their kind of relationship, their romance, because Turkish viewer they liked romance so much, and then so it's like a bad man and good girl. Somehow they changed the guy in a good way, and then they just ended up love, something like this, and then also like a triangle, love triangle. As you know, in this original version of Korean drama, also there has a triangle, 삼각관계, one guy and there's so many ladies to love this guy. So also Turkish version of this Korean drama, they keep this kind of a aspect of that one too. So also school bullying, in Korean, in school, there has many trouble about this one. So this is also, they keep this in the Turkish version of the Korean drama. Okay. I prepared like two other like episodes of a Korean drama, like a remake version of the Korean drama, but I want to skip here because I look at the time, it's already like 50 minutes. So maybe I better to just move on to and then going to the last part of this presentation. And then I think Korean drama, in some senses, among all different kind of forms of Korean wave, like as you know, in Korean wave there is a lot of forms of the Korean wave, like K-pop, and Korean drama, and Korean movie, and like video game, or so many things. But among those like this, among this kind of another category, I think Korean drama is very important because it contains a great deal of the Korean culture. It's kind of mixture of Korean traditional culture and modern or contemporary culture too. Namely, all this kind of etc. Young or old, and men and women, and home and work, marriage, romance, family issue. Shortly, Korean drama can be the function act as a cultural window in experiencing implicit or explicit Korean way of life in modern and contemporary society. Both the popularity Korean drama and boom in Turkish remakes Korean drama in Turkey, I think it needs to be paid attention or need to be called for the stud, given the fact drama industry in Turkey is very huge and generates a lot of money through this kind of investment capital in television industry. Besides that, Turkey is the second biggest drama export country in the world, especially to Europe and South America and Middle East. Actually, one of the Korean drama they remade, and then they export to more than 30 countries in the world. It's like 가족끼리 왜 이래 or something like this. So this is like a big kind of, how I was surprised at too. This Korean drama, actually they remade it and then they re-exported. So this can be, what is that one? Yeah, Turkish people spending lots of time watching television drama in the evening and their family after work. So what I'm saying is that in Turkey, television drama influence is very huge. And then why do Turkish people like Korean drama? Particularly, I want to look into the culture perspective. Why do they find them so attractive and interesting? Maybe some of their answer will be a little bit similar to what you think about in here too. As for subject matters, I can say about the family-oriented culture, moral, ethical message, or educational, which means promoting virtue aspect and reproving vice, and then maintaining traditional culture and value. Specifically saying about distinguish the gender-specific behavior, manners, and social norms, and respect for elder. Something they think about this kind of remaining of a Confucian tradition, they really value about this. The innocent and purest love, which we see that before, like boys over flower, or I'm sorry, I love you. This kind of love story. Why they so like it? Because they think this overcomes all the obstacle and hardship. Is the romantic concept, which is considered praised as an expression of our humanity. And storyline of the rich man and poor girl also is very familiar and popular to Turkish audience. Also, Korean drama, they said that Korean drama doesn't contain many bad scenes or sexually provocative behavior. So in Turkey, mother and daughter, they can watch together without any problem. I think nowadays Korean drama, they kisses. I think they do some stuff, but something like in Turkish point of view, they think Korean drama is very pure. They love each other, but they don't do anything, just only looking at each other. I love you, like this. So in Turkish daughter, they can watch Korean drama with their mom, their father, or their younger sister like this together without any kind of feeling uncomfortableness. So this is one of the reasons they're saying that why they so like it about the Korean drama. And then third one, Korean drama, as I said, so it's not kind of violence or sensationalism which is very prevalent in the Western dramas like United States or other kind of Western drama. Do you agree with that? So they say that these characteristics are easily accepted by Muslim Turkish people. They also find the Korean culture very similar to the Turkish culture. So they can able to feel sympathy with the inner feeling or thoughts of the characters in the Korean drama. Do you very easily to sympathize or easily empathy to the characters on your own when you watch the Korean drama? Oh, yes. Yeah. Okay. But the movies are violent. Oh, movies are violent. Okay. Yeah, of course, there is some of the movies very violent. So I want to make sure, okay, what do you think about Korean culture or Korean some custom is so thing you're very respectful. So I wanted to more specific answer like this. So there's answer like that. Korean people bow their heads to the seniors, their elders when they're greeting them. In contrast, the Turkish people, they're more kissing, hug when they're greet. So Koreans holding also ancestor ceremony during the holiday, also very interesting to them. And the young people, they're waiting to eat until the seniors start first. Do you find interesting this kind of thing? Yes. And then son and daughter usually do not drink with their parents or smoke in front of their parents, elderly. At least they turn around their heads away out of the respect when they drink with the parents. Turkish people think Korean people are well-mannered and respectful in this regard. So they really like them, this kind of characteristics. And then Korean family, of course, the parents, they have dedicated their life to their children's education, and then they sacrifice a great deal for it, open to the exclusion of their own lives. It is very common in Turkey also. The Turkish parents also, they dedicate a lot to their 4 kids. And then another thing is Korean people take off their shoes when they enter home, as just the Turkish people do it at home. This kind of very, small thing about this, like Turkish people, when they watch the drama, they just found it. Oh, that's very similar. Oh, that's very familiar. I like it. So they think about some kind of more like familiar themselves with the Korean drama, attach themselves that way. Which is for me, is something special, but for them, this is like something they can feel familiar, comfortable. So I can this is my kind of observation. Maybe in Turkey, it has become common. Like Turkish people watch their own drama during the week, and they can watch the Korean romantic drama, family drama on this weekend. So I say about maybe in the later Korean drama or watching the Korean drama, one of them become a subculture in their kind of country, in the society. So like that's what I kind of saying about all the line, the first paragraph. And the second one, I think Turkish remake is very good example, localization. So people saying about when you just like Korean wave, all people think about just globalize it. Like how you think Korean culture make it global. We need to make it global so that everybody too can like it. But this Turkish remake can be saying about not only the globalization, also at the same time, localization. Which means they turn into their context, with their tradition, their history, and then their taste or desire of Turkish people. In that sense, I think Korean wave is not only limited to influence to the one way, also kind of, mutual way of interaction. So I can say that, I would say that Turkish remake of Korean drama suggests the open floor of an international culture, provide evidence of a transnational culture, and that indicates international culture hybridity. Which means I'm hoping to, the Korean culture not only you can consume it or enjoy in one way. Somehow this can be another seed to making to another culture in their own way. This is, I think, very ideal way we can talking about when you're talking about the Korean wave or Korean popular culture. In not only in Turkey, maybe on other places, even in like Georgia or Armenia or Azerbaijan too. This is a very, I think, ideal way we can talking about the Korean wave. This is pretty much what I'm just saying in my lecture. And then this is a conclusion, which is I already covered most of the previous my presentation. So I want to just we have to pay attention thing like local context. Like if you think about the Korean popular culture, we only think about our own view, but we also have to take it granted or take account about what is the local people or what the foreigner actually they accept, how they understand it, how they enjoy that. This part we also have to pay attention to, not only to kind of ongoing to lasting Korean wave, also this is a mutual understanding each other through the Korean culture. So for me, this is like an Ayla movie, also have all the kind of survey result. For me, good idea or provide a useful and a valuable idea how I teach what kind of, subject matter I need to teach in my class. So because I'm a teacher, so maybe some of the Korean educator or teachers here referring some of this kind of research, similar research, when they developed new courses of Korea and Korean culture for foreign students. For example, for me, when I'm working on syllabus of Korean modern literature, Korean culture courses for Turkish students, I consider very much great deal, including some material which cover Korean War and Korean economic development or industrialization in the particularly 1970s, 80s, this kind of subject matter, because particularly my students express great interest in the Korean War and the history relationship between Korea and Turkey. This kind of exchange, this kind of reception could be a very good starting point when you think about what Korea is or what Korea means to them. Also, this is the kind of source about you developing the local area study too. Korea study or Korean culture is not only coming from Korea. Here, you're kind of agents, you're kind of a consumer, you're kind of activator because you're making your Korean words a different way, different version, creator. I think this is the kind of ideal way we can look into Korean culture and the kind of, today's globalization. Thank you so much.
So, first of all, thank you for such an interesting lecture regarding the influences of Korea in Turkish culture. I'm sure that the people here will be very interesting to hear, to have some questions about Korean pop culture. I'm sure that many people here listen to Korean culture and are interested in it, so you have a wonderful opportunity to ask questions and to get very interesting answers from the person who is familiar with Korean culture. So now the Q&A session is open. So do you have any questions? Yes, please, at the end. Would you please be so kind to tell us your name and the institution?
Hello, my name is Tinatin.
Tinatin?
네.
한국어.
Yes.
You can ask the question in Korean if you wish as well.
That would be great.
You told us that you're a professor of literature, and I would like to know any novels to read in Korean, which is famous or popular, and if you can recommend it, I would appreciate.
Oh, wow. This is very unexpected question. Oh my goodness. I wish my students like you. Wow.
Thank you.
They don't want to read novel, a story thing. So I always having a difficult time to saying about the Korean literature or novel thing. I can say about, like for your question, maybe what about the Hangang's vegetarian? You might have your kind of translation. Or maybe you're okay with reading an English version, will be easier too. So now this is Hanggang is a very internationally acclaimed writer, as you know, Man Booker, wording. So or maybe Shin Kyung-suk, Look After Mom, something like this. Maybe you can start with some English translation first, and then after that, maybe you can even think about translate in your own language. That'd be beautiful too.
Unfortunately, there are not that many books in Georgian translated from Korean. I think that the university and Korea Foundation might work on this to have some modern, contemporary Korean authors translated.
What I'm saying is actually pretty much the contemporary writers too.
Thank you.
I will send you some copies if you want.
Thank you.
Okay, let's go to another question. Yes, please, at the end.
Hi, I'm Hallyn, and I want to ask one really weird question. Is K-pop as famous as in other countries in South Korea?
Is K-pop same as popular, you mean?
Yes,
okay.
For Koreans.
Okay, so how do Koreans perceive K-pop? Is it the same like in other countries, or even more maybe?
answer these questions. I think maybe it depends on like the person, like their age. Like for me, I'm a kind of a mid-40, so I'm not really big fan of the kind of these boys bands like BTS or like EXO or something. But I like some of the like Korean song like Kim Gang-suk or something. So I think maybe, yeah, I couldn't say about like as popular as here, their reception in overseas Korea, but maybe of course nowadays also they are very popular in Korea too, nationally.
Thank you so much for answer.
I'm sorry about this, it's not enough, but maybe we can talk later after this section.
Thank you.
Okay, so if I may, I would like to add just one word. When I arrived in Korea at the airport, the first thing you see is an advertisement of a Korean K-pop group. I don't remember which one exactly, but still. So you can perceive the perception of South Korean K-pop bands in Korea by this simple fact. When you arrive in Korea, the first thing you see is a Korean K-pop advertisement. Okay, so let's move to another question. Yes, please.
Hello. What was cultural shock for you in Turkey?
What was the most unexpected thing for you in Turkey?
First of all, like everywhere mosque, and then 5 times a day prayers, and then most of the lady that I see on the street, they're cover their heads. This kind of thing. I like on the surface. Yeah, I can say about this kind of surface. And then particularly the city that I live in, there's no Asian food. There's no markets at all. So this is also kind of, you know, feel like a little bit far away my hometown. But now I'm get used to that a lot, you know. Yeah. Like a prayers 5 times a day. Early morning, and then around 12 or something like this, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Now let's move to another. Yes, please. And then we'll go to the back, yeah, after this question.
First of all, thank you, Professor, for the very interesting lecture. I really didn't accept it. It really was really interesting, and what I'm going to ask you is that I just came from a meeting where it was International Women's Forum, where we discussed gender policies around the world. And the thing that I want to ask you is, what do you think and what is your perception of gender policy in Korea? Are men and women are really equal in Korea, or there may be it's because what I think and what I see and my perception is that there is a lot of to work in Korea about gender equality. Thank you.
Wow.
That's a tough question.
That is actually a very good question. Very good question. Yeah. Can I answer? Yeah, but I think in Korea, this is my own personal, you know, opinion. It's not like this, but I guess still a long way to go to achieve the gender equality. And then I think I don't know exactly the data, but among the OECD country, the Korea is the gender inequality or equality is kind of way behind. I mean, very much, like people very surprised, very way behind, and then. Yeah, not really. Yeah, so.
Okay, so there was a question in the back, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, please.
Maybe I can talk with you a little bit later privately. That would be good too. Yes, yeah.
Hello, my name is Rosa, and I have a question because you have been talking about K-dramas and how in Turkey they're watched many people are watching it, and I have been thinking about that quite a lot, and because many people who watch only Korean dramas think about Korean women and men certain way, and they have this kind of, they think that Korean men are like this and women are like this. Maybe like men are very cold and arrogant and women are very weak. And what do you think about that as a Korean person? And if you know what Korean people think about that, because many people think who only watch Korean dramas, that's whole what Korea is and Korean people look like. Thank you.
But we all know about the drama. It reflects some more sense to reality of Korea, but that's not reality. And then some of the Korean drama had been aired in Turkey, mostly about something like a family drama, which is still, retain the traditional value, which they think about this will be very well accepted by the Turkish viewers. We call it like a 가족 drama, something like this. But nowadays, I think there's a lot of different kind of genre of the Korean drama, made in Korea actually. But they selected, this is also a very good question, like there are a lot of different kind of, even, men, like you said, the stereotype, the relationship between man and woman, man is very arrogant, very tough, masculine. But actually nowadays, there's so many kind of different kind of character of the male character in Korean drama. But it's a more important thing is that the Turkish producer, they selectively, aired some of the Korean drama according to their own taste of the desire of the people.
Thank you. So we have some time for 2 more questions, and then we will have to finish it. Thank you. Yes, please.
Okay. Thank you for your lecture. It was fun. You talked a lot about how Turkish people can relate to Korean dramas and how it's important for Korean producers to make dramas which can relate to people. But I have seen lots of Korean dramas. I have met lots of Koreans. Thing is that I think Korea is not ready for changes themselves. When they produce some kind of drama, always scenarios are same. Always plot goes similar way, always the same stuff. Once they tried to make something different from what Korean public likes, it was kind of not popular in Korea. And at the same time, drama, which was typical to the typical Korean drama, was popular and hit the ratings to the highest level. So when we talk about how it's important for people to relate abroad to Korean dramas, is not it the other way that also Koreans can learn something from abroad people? Even the teaser you showed us, what I say is that skinship, the thing Koreans really rarely use in their dramas, it's mostly seen in foreign dramas, but Koreans don't use it. And the ideas, it's mostly the same. So as from outsider, no offense to Korea, I love the country, I love the people, but I think that when we come to changes and accepting something new, it's hard for Koreans. You rarely change what you already have as a perspective. And that may be like a little bit challenging, especially when we create dramas. Everyone here loves those dramas because they are cute and lovely. And most Georgians can't relate to it because our reality is totally different from Korea's. That's why the dramas I told you were aired in Georgia, they were all historicals. So what I think is that while creating dramas in Korea, maybe Korean culture and Korean public needs to make it bored too.
Okay, so thank you for the question.
I don't think this is not really a question. That's really commenting. So yeah. So because some of the thing I saying about why Turkish people so love Korea or find it attractive, interesting, as you see that in the beginning, most of the Korean drama has been aired historical drama. So they found more like this kind of traditional, like Confucian, like remaining stuff, like because most of the time there are like 80% of the Korean drama which has been aired in the Turkish like a national television channel is about like historical dramas. So we still have a very strong kind of remaining of the Confucian, tradition or heritage, which they really find interesting. Something they think something similar to us. Something kind of relate to themselves easily. So, Korean drama, as you say, is kind of a popular culture, which means they really kind of try to appealing people's entertaining perspective. not like a reality. You know, this is a documentary, but drama is kind of fantasy. People they don't want to look at the reality, dark side of Korea, right? We have a lot of dark side of Korea behind it, but they don't want to look at it. Maybe they want to just kind of bright side, like a stylish, sophisticated, like, oh, lady's so beautiful like this. They don't want to kind of eat it behind dark side. So that's a very good point. Maybe if you kind of, this kind of comments, some of the Korean drama producer watch it or listening, that would be great too, because that would be easier to making more Korean drama is diverse. That's very nice.
Okay, thank you for the answer. So now we have the last question, and I would like to thank our moderator for taking this microphone to all the people. So you have the honor of the last question.
Yes.
Oh.
Well.
Oh, my technician.
Okay. Everyone here, I suppose, is similar to the K-dramas and K-pop and like the culture, but as for me, I'm not really familiar to Korean literature. So can you suggest or recommend something that we should all read?
Something from classical literature.
Like literature, Korean?
Yeah, I think what I said that before I said that, you know, as for the Korean popular culture, there's all different kind of forms, you know, of the Korean pop culture, but it's the leading kind of part is K-pop. But when you just kind of lay out, name it one by one, actually the last one is Korean literature. So which is, it's very few people has access to Korean literature. But as I said, I forgot her name, but one of the students also asked me to recommend some of the, you know, good novels. So maybe, yeah, as I said earlier, like something kind of more popular or like well-known, the author is like Hangang or like or maybe the Shin Kyung-suk, something like the novelist too, and then Hwang Seok-young. There's a many kind of collection actually translate in English too. So maybe you can go to visit the like Korean Translation Institute, and then you can find very latest version of the Korean literary works too. Okay. Like Institute for Korean Translation, something like the KTI, like this. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very, very much for such an interesting time that we have spent together. I would like to thank the Korea Foundation for allowing us to have this wonderful opportunity. I would like to thank the Professor Mika Beridze for arranging all this and Professor Kursanidze for attending us. So Georgia and Korea share a lot in common. It is both historical parallels that can be created. It's also some common problems that we face together. And I'm sure that lectures like this, as well as even deeper cooperation between the Free University and the Korea Foundation, will contribute a lot to making Korea more popular in Georgia, to learning more about Korean society, Korean economics, and of course, it will be a great lesson for Georgia how to develop our country and how to become one of the most successful countries in the world. So I would like to finish this session to thank you all for attending it. This session is over. Thank you.
Thank you.